The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions. Hit that don't run on the past, present, and or future. Why, hi there, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 11th day of January 2022. We have an exciting National League West battle for you. And in our first 7 games of this replay, we've now featured 12 teams. Today, it's the Houston Astros with Mike Scott, the great Scott, coming in to pitch for Houston. Of course, 86 would be his pony year. And the Los Angeles Dodgers, who feature both Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser, and a whole mess of good hitters. But today, they go with Rick Honeycutt. The Dodgers have won 6 straight and have taken the first 2 out of 3 in this series against Houston. They opened up the season against each other, the Dodgers and the Astros took 2 out of 3 at the Astrodome. So the Dodgers are riding high. The Astros are waiting for 1986. It is minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit here in Burlington, Vermont at 12 noon Eastern Time. And the wind chill is 18 below. So, unless we're going to play some Green Bay Packer football, what better way to go than to sunny Southern California? Are you ready? Let's do it. As Retro Sports Network presents 1985 MLB replay tonight from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. It is the 6-2 LA Dodgers versus the 4-4 Houston Astros. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Well, we got 2 new followers, Brain Rider 1 and Mr. Crispy. Should we talk about chicken or bacon with that? So it is, and Al, how are you, my friend? Rick Honeycutt gets the start today for the Dodgers. 8-12 on the real year with a save and an ERA of 3.42. He'll make 25 starts for Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers before he goes to Oakland and dominates. His one start came against the Giants at home on the 12th, so 5 nights ago. 6 innings and an 8-7 win. He got the win. No, he got no decision. How about that? Because Ron can read. 93 pitches, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned. That's a devilish number. He walked 2 and struck out 4. So a fastball pitcher at 85, a fly ball pitcher, and he should go about 95 pitches. 31 years old, and again, remember, he would become a lefty specialist for the A's in later years. This will be the lineup he'll face. Dickie Thon. At short, Kevin Bass is in right field. He'll bat second. Phil Garner at third will bat third. Jose Cruz cleans up in left field. Jerry Mumphrey in center will bat fifth. Enos Cabell at first goes sixth. Alan Ashby behind the plate will bat seventh. Billy Dorian at second will bat eighth. And Mike Scott, who could go about 120 pitches, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Dodgers, it's amazing as they look for their 3rd NL West crown in 4 years that they have turned over pretty much everybody except for Bill Russell from their heyday in the late 70s, yet remain a contender. Al Oliver, a DH at this point in his career, is a 2-8 left. Candy Maldonado is a 3-4 in center. Mike Marshall, a 3-8 in right. And for those of you who are new and haven't tuned away, that first number is their range on a 1 to 10 scale, and the A number is their arm number, 10 being best, 1 being a ramen noodle. Pedro Guerrero is a 4 at third. Bill Russell a 7 at short. Mariano Duncan is a 5 at second. And Sid Bream, the hero to everybody in Atlanta, is a 6 at first. Mike Scioscia behind the plate, he's a 7 and a 6. And Honeycutt is a 7 on the mound with a .958 fielding percentage. Dickie Thon is off to a slow start, 3 for 33. That's .091 with 11 strikeouts. It's never good to have more strikeouts than hits. And this one starts with a base hit to left. Oliver will pick it up. Thon will hold at first. And hey, I can actually read the numbers. So that's a good start for the Astros. Kevin Bass, 1 for 5 on the year. 269 on the real season, 16 homers, and 68 RBI. Throw to first. Thon is back. And those numbers I know are hard to read. He has a 57% chance now of stealing. 72 degrees. Wind is a crosswind from right to left at 13. And so as you look out over the San Gabriels in the outfield, it is a beautiful night in the city of the Angels. Pitch to Bass. There goes Thon. It's a hit and run, and that's going to drop in for a base hit in front of Maldonado. Thon will motor to third. Maldonado picks it up, throws it in, and now Houston has runners on the corners and nobody out for Phil Garner. Phil at 176, a triple and 2 RBI. Pictures by the way that you see in this game are courtesy of Al Red Sox fan. Garner a 268 hitter in the real year. Honeycutt deals. There goes Bass. Duncan might be 2. They will not throw home. They get the force at second, and Garner will just motor right down the line. There's no throw. So 4-6 on the fielder's choice. 1 out, and it's 1-0 Houston. Here's Jose Cruz at 321, 2 homers and 6 RBI. I'm doing well, midlife crisis. Had a touch of a cold, enough so that I got my nose swabbed on Sunday. That was an exciting thing. My wife is such an angel. But she was able to score a couple tests. And so we waited the prerequisite 15 minutes, and there was a couple good things. I'm not pregnant. She's not pregnant. Neither one of us had COVID. So, works for me. Be worried if I was pregnant and didn't have COVID. So Garner, not really a threat to steal. 1 out, Honeycutt deals. Cruz, a slow bounder to Duncan. Mariano will go to Russell for 1, and they will not throw to first. So a second verse, same as the first, on the 4-6. And that brings up Jerry Mumphrey, who is off to a flying start. 379. That's 11 for 29 with 2 doubles and 2 RBI. I think he had been with the Yankees at that point, hadn't he? So 2 out and a 1 spot on the board for Houston. Mumphrey draws the walk. And now you know why Honeycutt was a bullpen pitcher his most productive years. Here's Enos Cabell, 474. A double, a triple, and an RBI, 9 for 19. Astros are 4-4 on the year. The Dodgers are 6-2. I think it's Pittsburgh and St. Louis on Thursday. We show you the standings in the 4th inning. The current game right now are the Indians and the Yankees. But some certain team in Chicago is off on a tear. And so we might bump to them in Montreal instead. We'll see. Pitch to Cabell. Here's a fly ball to left. Oliver comes in. And he will make the catch to retire the side. The Astros get a run on 2 hits. Here come the Dodgers. Houston leaves on 2, 1-0. And so Mr. Splitfinger, Mike Scott, takes the hill. Scott beat the Phils his first time out. 111 pitches, 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a homer, and he struck out 7 in the process. He's 30 years old. He's a refugee from the New York Mets. The fastball pops at 88, and he is a fly ball pitcher. And even in 85, he put a great number as 18-8, 221 2/3 innings. This will be the lineup he'll face. Mariano Duncan leads off for the Dodgers. Bill Russell at short will bat second. Al Oliver, who will play a role for the Toronto Blue Jays at some point in this replay, will bat third in left field. Pedro Guerrero cleans up at third. Mike Marshall in right will bat fifth. Mike Scioscia behind the plate goes sixth. Sid Bream at first will bat seventh. Imagine having to replace Steve Garvey. Good luck with that, Sid. Candy Baldonado in center will bat eighth, and Rick Honeycutt, who threw 16 pitches, will bat ninth. Jose Cruz is a 6 and a 7 in left as we set the Astros defensively. Jerry Mumphrey is a 3 and a 5. Kevin Bass is a 4 and a 6. Phil Garner is a 4 at third. Dickie Thon is a 6 at short. Billy Doran is a 6 at second. Enos Cabell is at first. He's a 3. Alan Ashby is a 7 and a 7 behind the plate. And Scott is a 7 on the mound with a .956 fielding percentage. And if you're trying to figure out how I can read that through those numbers, I was one of the few ones that could actually read the actual words on Password when they had to read through the red filter. Remember that? Yeah, that was me. Duncan, 222 and 5 RBI on a young year. Scott deals, and Duncan hits a ground ball over the mound. Thon behind the bag over to first, 1 out. There, by the way, is a new patch for this game. I did not put it in for today, but it is as of January 8th, and it should fix the starting pitching throwing too long bug. Here's Bill Russell. Bill is off to a huge start, 7 for 14, 500, a triple, and an RBI. And Russell at this point is pretty much a player coach. And Al, if you're listening, there is, by the way, a new patch for Legends of Boxing. It's up now to .6. Russell swings a ground ball to Doran. Billy throws to first, and that's an out, 2 away. For Al Oliver. Oliver, in his limited time with Los Angeles, there you go. So now you know that there's a new patch for that. Oliver, 286, 6 for 21, 2 doubles and 2 RBI. He would leave Los Angeles on July 8th. And at 39, he really wasn't a very good fielder anymore. Guerrero on deck, 2 out, bottom of the first. Oliver hits a grounder. Doran by the bag over to first, and that will retire the side. Dodgers go quietly in the first, 1-0 Houston. So it's Ashby, Doran, and Scott to face Honeycutt. Allen, 0-71, 1 for 14 with 2 RBI and 3 strikeouts. Honeycutt deals, and that gets away for Scioscia on strike 3. Ashby is retired, 2-3. Here's Billy Doran. Billy at 296. 2 homers for Houston. I think that's 40 for most teams, and 7 RBI. So Honeycutt trying to ease into this now on a gorgeous night in Los Angeles. Little chopper to first. Bream will pick it up. Underhands it to Honeycutt. 2 out. Brings up Mike Scott. Mike, 1 for 2. A solo homer against the Phillies. Oh, isn't that nice? You got to love it when your pitcher has the highest batting average of anybody in the starting lineup. Pitch to Scott. Well, he won't hit a homer here as Honeycutt got him on a check swing. The 1-2 fastball. He got him. No runs, no hits, nobody left after an inning and a half. 1-0 Houston. So Guerrero, Marshall, and Scioscia to face Scott. Pedro at 4-14, 2 homers and 10 RBI. The Dodgers have won 6 straight. They dropped the first 2 of the season in Houston. And then took care of the last game at the Dome before sweeping the Giants over the weekend. And have taken the first 2 of this 3-game set against the Astros at Chavez Ravine. And remember, in the National League, you play your divisional teams 18 times, and the other division 12. Pitch to Guerrero. There's a ground ball to third. Garner will throw him out. Guerrero, I think, had the Walkman on and wasn't paying much attention. 1 out for Marshall. Mike had 28 homers for the Dodgers in 85. He's got 3 so far in 33 at-bats. In fact, he's hitting .333. 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer. That's a pretty good start. Scott deals, and there's a chopper that's going to get into the outfield. Mumphrey will pick it up in shallow center, and for the Dodgers, that is their first hit. Brings up Scioscia. Mike at 222, 4 for 18. He does have 2 doubles and an RBI in the early going. Runner on first. There's a fly ball to right. Bass in the corner. And he is out. He reached in and got it. Wow. I know it's a late arriving crowd because it's in LA for everything, but once you go into the seats, you're fair game. Just ask Bartman. Here's Sid Bream. Sid must have been Phil. Greg Brock, I think, was their regular first baseman in 85. Sid, 194, 2 homers, and 4 RBI. Runner on first, 2 out in the second. Pitch from Scott. Bream strikes out. He got him a 2-2 splitter right at the knees, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and the Dodgers leave a runner on. We go to the third, 1-0 Houston. So Honeycutt is through his first 9 on 31 pitches. 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk and 2 strikeouts, and the run is earned. Thon singled and scored, and brought up his average to 118. Pitch to Dickey. There's a fly ball to left. Oliver will make that catch. 1 out. All right, now, good to have you along. And I suppose the right pun for that for Al would be, it figures. Wink, wink. Here's Bass. Kevin singled his first time up. Honeycutt's pitch, and he'll single again. That's in front of Oliver in left center. And Bass is on with a 1-out single. Here's Garner. Phil. Fielder's choice, I think. Yep. Drove in his 3rd run of the year in the first. Throw to first. Bass is gone. How about that? So Honeycutt, the lefty, picked off the runner. So Bass was going, and so it goes 1 if you're scoring at home. And my goodness, why would you? It's a fake game. 1-3-6. So Russell got him on the tag, and there's 2 out. And nobody on. Tribe fan back to work the second day back after being off for 16 days. So you got... Was that a COVID-induced vacation, or does your work just shut down for the holidays? So 2 out. Pitch to Garner. Phil grounds that one foul third base side, and we'll do it again. 2-2. Honeycutt winds. In the left field, Oliver gets a tailor-made fly ball, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, a thrown-out runner, and we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is the Astros 1, the Dodgers 0. Al's gone now. Here's Candy Maldonado. Took time off. Okay. Remind me in general terms what you do. I know you are a big fan of the Cleveland, Ohio rail system. Maldonado was 4 for 10, only had 213 at-bats. A homer, and 5 RBI in the replay. Scott starts the 3rd with a fly ball to right. Bass comes in, rides the Schwinn. 1 out. You work for Uncle Sam. Now, as someone who gets a pension, Rick Honeycutt, by the way, struck out in his only at-bat on the replay, 132 with an RBI in real life. We always liked our Uncle Sam and the Eagle, because once a month the Eagle poops in my bank account. Pitch to Honeycutt. Here's a slow roller to Doran. Billy throws to first, 2 out. And so Scott's opening 29 pitches, 2 2/3 innings. The one hit, that was to Marshall, and 1 strikeout. Duncan is 0 for 1. Pitch to Mariano is gone. Jose Cruz just turned and watched that one go. He didn't even move. He just turned and watched it. And that goes in the back of the bleachers, and it's 1-1. So Duncan... Oops, wrong button. Not you. So Duncan, not known for his prodigious power, kind of split that fastball into the upper bleachers and left. What's Scott throwing? Doesn't say. So 2 out for Russell and nobody on. Now in a 1-1 tie. Russell's 0 for 1. Scott's pitch. Little ground ball to Cabell. Enos to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. So, the Dodgers get an unlikely home run from Mariano Duncan. We go to the 4th here at Chavez Ravine. It's the Astros 1, the Dodgers 1. So Cruz, Mumphrey, and Cabell. And so it's time to look at the standings. The Dodgers have a 1-game lead over Atlanta. 2 over Houston, San Francisco, and San Diego. And since Brad's not here, we can pick on the Reds. They are 2 and 6. All right, I'll talk about that in a second. Let me go through the standings. In the National League East, the Cubs are 8-0. They are 8 for Wrigley. And a 3.5-game lead over the Cardinals. The Mets are 500. You'll see the Cardinals and the Pirates on Thursday. Pittsburgh is going to be bad. They are 2 and 6, and that's about the way they should play. But the Cardinals are home. In the American League West, Texas, Seattle, Oakland, all right. In fact, that entire division, except for California and the Chi Sox, are all in there. And in the American League East, now you know Yogi's about to get fired in New York. They're off to a 1-5 start. And if JT Dutch, he stopped watching. I know he did. The Indians are only a 1.5 games out of first. And if the Indians win the division, he gives subscriptions to equal the amount of wins the Indians have. So right now he's up to 4. The Red Sox are 6 and 2. All right. As Cruz steps in, he's 0 for 1. Forgive me if I said it. You mentioned the patch. I did. I think the original coding was to compensate for lack of complete games, because in the 21 game, in your 72 replay, your complete games were down about 70%. Ouch. It's obvious that they did something with it. I'd have to look at 49. I thought those numbers were kind of close. But just because I didn't do the video on it doesn't mean I didn't look. But yeah, especially in the early 70s when we're still kind of playing dead ball, they should be high. Here's Cruz. Jose walked. Socha tried to frame it on a full count, fastball high and away, but umpire wouldn't have anything to do with it. Here's Mumphrey. He walked his first time up. 2 for Honeycutt now. Jerry hits a ground ball to Guerrero. Duncan for 1, Bream for 2. So around the horn they go. 2 out for Cabell. Enos is 0 for 1. It's a good theory you have, Midlife Crisis, and I'm curious if anyone else has run a replay and figured that one out. And I think it was doing it okay for pitchers under 125 pitches, but above that, it was just trying to leave them in. Pitch to Cabell. Enos pops it up. Russell runs over by the line at third and will make the catch to retire the side. Astros go quietly in the 4th. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up. 1-1 to score. So Oliver, Guerrero, and Marshall there aren't a lot of things that need tinkering in this engine. But I think midlife crisis, I think you kind of hit it there. Oliver is 0 for 1. Al in the center. Mumphrey, Doran, and Cabell. This could be trouble, and that will be... I can't tell. Oliver's staying on first, so it drops in for a hit. So the Astros hold a convention in the outfield, and they nominate nobody to catch that ball. Mumphrey called for it. Bass called for it. And Oliver gets the cheapie. So that's the third hit for the Dodgers. Here's Guerrero. He's 0 for 1. Struck him out. Scott got him on a 1-2 curve on the outside corner. And so that'll bring up Mike Marshall. Mike has a single. He's 1 for 1. Throw to first. Oliver back. I will say that the 22 version is better with the computer monitoring runners on base as far as their speed chances are concerned. Pitch to Marshall. Got him. A fastball looking for strike 3. 2 out for Scioscia. And they're pretty much giving Oliver second base. So it's never too late to not accept a gift, and Oliver steals second. It's his first of the year. He's in scoring position now for Scioscia, who's 0 for 1. Oliver, 39 years old, and I'm not talking Jack Benny 39, a legit 39. Pitch to Scioscia. There's a base hit left field. Oliver should round third, although Cruz is awful shallow. They're gonna send him. Here comes a play at the plate. The throw is got in time. They got him. Cruz was coming in closer. I didn't think Ashby had the tag on in time. You'll see it again. Look how close Cruz is. Oliver with okay speed, a decent chance. He kind of hesitated, and then I thought he beat the throw. But Oliver, you know what? When he slid over the plate, he forgot to put his hand there, and Ashby got him. So the Dodgers don't get anything out of the deal. Top of the fifth, 1-1. So Ashby's 0 for 1. He struck out, one of the two from Honeycutt. Rick, there's a base hit in the left center field. Oliver cuts it off. And Ashby's chances of stealing are 7%. Brings up Doran. Bill is 0 for 1. Really can't fund. Al's back. Tell your friends. Al is back. Al is back. Al is back. Doran in the center field. Maldonado, speaking going back, will have that go over his head. Or will he? No, he made the catch. Apparently I've got my John Sterling glasses on today. It looked like they hit the wall. So Candy makes the catch. Al makes it all worthwhile. That's right. Here's Scott. Mike is 0 for 1. And with 1 out, he'll play for the bunt anyway. Scott swings into left field. Oliver, he'll make the catch. 2 out. And for those who keep track of such things, and I know who you are, I am 4-2 as a manager so far in this replay. Just saying. Just saying. Here's Dickie Thon. Dickie 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the first. Honeycutt threw 18, 73 pitches, 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Thon hits a ground ball to Russell over to Duncan, and that will retire the side. Halfway home on a frigid Tuesday afternoon. It's 4 below 0 in Burlington. It's the Dodgers 1, the Astros 1. We'll be back. Well, if you joined us late, here's how we got here. Phil Garner in a fielder's choice to make it 1-0 Houston. In the third, the Dodgers tied the ball game on a Mariano Duncan solo shot to left to make it 1-1. I should fire my third base coach. Let's wave him home, Wendell Kim. What are you talking about? Mike Scott, a 4-hitter through 4. He has struck out 3. Rick Honeycutt, a 4-hitter through 5. He has struck out 2. Sid Bream is 0 for 1. He struck out. What is it, Bob Henley in Washington? Oh my gosh. When I covered the Nats, they had a third base coach that was so aggressive. And just would, if you do it 10 times, you might get a run or two that you should get. By the way, the 70% chance of scoring on that play. But there's 1 or 2 times you get somebody thrown out the plate that you shouldn't. Anyway, here's Bream. He struck out his first time up. Sid hits a fly ball to right. Bass, 1 out. Al is doing a franchise greats league from 1960 to 1979 on his channel. Still in the Red Sox and the Yankees the other night. Here's Maldonado. Candy's 0 for 1. Pitch to Candy. Struck him out. That's 4 for Scott. He shook him off on a 2-2 and fed him the curve, which Maldonado proceeded to swing and miss. Here's Honeycutt. He's 0 for 1. Rick probably will pitch into the 7th. There's a chopper to third. Garner on the grass, and that's an infield hit. Garner, I think, was trying to figure that the pitcher really can't run, but that's not true. Honeycutt's a 4-speed. And so that'll bring up Mariano Duncan, who tied this game in the third with a solo homer. He had 6 on the real year. So Scott is opening 18. As Brad says, 85 was by far the best year at that point at 30. He was mastering that split finger, and of course 86 was a year for the ages for Mike. 4 2/3 innings, 65 pitches, 5 hits, the lone homer to Duncan. Everyone has a bad batter. He hasn't walked anybody and struck out 4. You'll notice, Brad, that in 221 2/3 innings, he only struck out 137. He mastered that pitch in 86 and got the Astros into Game 6 of the NLCS. Pitch to Duncan. Mariano pops this one up. Garner by the dugout. Phil reaches in, and that hits the floor. So 1-2 the count to Duncan. Duncan is a swing and a miss hitter a lot. He struck out 113 times in 85. And Scott, is that a balk? It is. Scott forgot to stop. And so the count is 1-2, and Scott now is starting to steam underneath that uniform. Pitch to Duncan. Got him. That's 5. He got him on the outside corner with a split finger. No runs, a hit. They leave a runner on. We go to the 6th, 1-1. So it'll be Bass. Look at the right side, Ronnie. Bass, Garner, and Cruz. Kevin is 2 for 2. Honeycutt probably his last inning. In the left center, Maldonado is there. 1 out. Pittsburgh, St. Louis on Thursday. Oh, my goodness gracious. Absolutely. Like the Mets weren't loaded enough. Brad says, can you imagine if he figured out that pitch a few years earlier and the Mets had kept him? I want to say he was traded for Danny Heap, who was actually a key part of that Mets 86 run, but not as key if they had Scott. Oh my gosh! Yeah, here's your 4. It's Gooden, Scott, Darling, and Fernandez. That rotation would have won 75 games. You could put me as a 5th starter. And remember, they also had Bobby Ojeda in 86. Well, here's your 5. Mike Scott, Dwight Gooden, Ron Darling, Sid Fernandez, and Bobby Ojeda. Just hand them the trophy. Pitch to Garner is in the center field. Maldonado into left center will make the catch. 2 out. For Cruz, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Before we get too far along, of course, a lot of us remember Bob Saget from Full House. Especially, that's Brad's age group right there. My sister's too. What a funny, funny man. Pitch to Cruz. There's a ground ball to Honeycutt over to Bream, and that will retire the side. After 5.5, it's Houston 1, the Dodgers 1. So it'll be Russell, Oliver, and Guerrero to face Scott here in the 6th. Honeycutt, I think we're up to, we will see. Russell's 0 for 2. Pitch to Bill. Line drive to Thorne, 1 out. Even as a child, I was wise enough to eschew that show. Oh, really? DuckTales. No, that's something different. Do you watch that famous Game 6 of the NLCS in 86? Mets would take it for a strike and swing it in the dirt. Oh, or no, not that game, but yeah, Scott was just... There are certain pitchers who have good years, but that one great one. I suppose you could say Gooden in 85, Guidry in 78, Vida Blue in 71. They are normally good pitchers, above average 17, 18 game winners. But something in that opus year, Hershiser in 88 certainly qualifies, absolutely, that just makes them absolutely magnificent, that they find it for 35 games. Doesn't mean they're not good after. Scott had a good year in 90, right? But that 1 year, oh man, it's just greatness. Pitch to Oliver, 1 for 2. In the left center, Mumphrey rides the Schwinn, comes in, makes the catch. 2 out. Guerrero is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And the fun thing about doing, let's say, the year before, Scott this year, Gooden his rookie year in 84, Guidry in 77, is you know what's coming. You absolutely know, Fernando in 81, you absolutely know what's coming. And it just makes it all the more fun to watch it develop. Pitch to Guerrero. There's a line drive left field. They'll drop in for a hit. Jose Cruz picks it up. And there's 2 out for Marshall, who singled and struck out, 1 for 2. Be curious, you can translate that over to football for Joe Burrow. Yeah, I'd mention that. Well, Ryan should have won the Science in 87, but yeah, Blue in 71, another. Well, if the Bengals win Saturday, their last playoff win came against the Raiders. Vegas, the bookies, seem to like the Bengals. Pitch to Marshall. There's a fly ball to left. Cruz goes over in the corner and makes the catch. That will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 7th here at Dodger Stadium, 1-1. Poor Bengals indeed. Made me a Giant fan. Here's Mumphrey. Jerry is 0 for 1 with a walk. Honeycutt will get a base runner here. Cabell and Ashby to follow. Honeycutt deals. There's a base hit into right field. Marshall will pick it up. Mumphrey will round first. We will go check Honeycutt. And Honeycutt says, give me 1 more. And Tommy says, okay. Cabell is 0 for 2. Runner on first. Mumphrey does not have good speed. Of all 32 NFL teams, the Bengals have faced the weakest strength of competition in terms of pass defense. Beware of appearance. Careful, Icarus. Yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs won their first national championship since 1980. Can we just cordon off the SEC and then play a championship for the teams in the rest of the country? Wonder how much Nick Saban has left in the tank. Pitch to Cabell. Enos walks, and now Tommy's got to get him. Third walk for a Honeycutt. Ooh, it's switchy righty. Ooh, can kill a lefty. It'll be Ken Howell coming in. Howell, 4-7 with 12 saves and a 3.77 ERA in real life. 25 years old. This will be his third appearance of the season. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, a standard pitcher. Went 2 innings last night in the Dodgers' 15-3 win over the Astros. He went 32 pitches, so he's not daisy fresh. Gave up a run, 2 hits, and a strikeout. So overall, 4 innings, 2 hits, a run. It was earned, and he struck out 2. So nobody out, top the 7th. Mumphrey and Cabell on. And Howell trying to slam the door. Ashby 1 for 2. And there's a base hit into left field. Mumphrey should hold. No, but Oliver bobbles it. How about that? Oliver bobbles it, and everybody moves up 90. So the Astros go ahead 2-1 on the single, and the error on Oliver. I told you at the start he shouldn't be in the field. Brings up Billy Doran. Now do you walk him? Well, there's nobody out. But we'll walk him to face the pitcher. Nobody out. Okay, Mike Scott beat us. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Bengals should thank Harbaugh. Watch both games. He blew trying to go for 2 in the win and failed, okay? Next up, we're taping tomorrow, which is my off day from baseball, and we're going to talk about cross era and normalization. Pitch to Scott. Struck him out. They got the one they needed right there. And Howell got him on a 2-2 curve. So here's Thawne. Dickey 1 for 3. He has singled and scored. Now a double play gets the Dodgers out of the jam. Sosha and Howell have a word. Thawne walked. So with the bases loaded, Cabell will score, and a 3-1 fastball was high and away. Yes, we've talked about that, Brad. Here's Kevin Bass. He's 2 for 3. He has singled twice. So Ashby on third. Doran on second would score on a single, and Thawne has the speed of a deer. So 1 out. Howell needs to keep it on the ground. Here's the pitch. He does. And Duncan. They'll try for 2. Russell for 1 to throw to first, and Bass has beat it out 3-1. So the relay was late. They gave it a good college try. It's a good thing Lorenzo's not here. We would open up the great divide with that conversation. You spent 30 years trying to explain to your father to tell him why his eyes lied about Koufax being the best pitcher in history. All right, I'll put you on the spot. Who do you think the best pitcher was in baseball history? Silver King. So the Astros have 3 across here in the 7th. Here's Garner. He is 0 for 3 with an RBI. Don't go out. Pitch to Garner. And they're going to try and steal. They'll hold the baseball. They'll give Bags the bag. And Kevin has his first steal. So an 0-1 count. Good job by the computer there. So Doran on third, Bass on second for Garner. You're not going to want Garner for Jose Cruz. And Ken Howell, the left arm of God was fabulous. I agree about Warren Spahn. Let's see, Koufax had 6 good years in the most favorable environment for pitching since the dead ball era. He can't hold, for example, Seaver's jockstrap. Send your cards and letters too. Pitch to Garner. Got him! Stretch time, 4-1 Houston. So the Astros get 3 runs, 2 hits, and an error. And as Brad causes an embolism for older viewers, Koufax is an all-time great, but they are guys who did much or more and did it for longer or simply better. Randy Johnson, Lefty Grove, Gibson. Doesn't mean Koufax. No, and that's the thing. You can say that Koufax was great. Koufax and Pedro Martinez, to me, are pretty much equal. Scioscia's 1 for 2. There's a ground ball to Thon. Dickey across the way, 1 out. Here's Bream. Sid is 0 for 2. I hope I got the pinch hit. Your top 5 of all time, okay? Roger Clemens, Tom Seaver, Greg Maddux, Walter Johnson, and Cy Young. You pinch hitting for Bream here? Why is Greg Brock not in the lineup? And Kenny Landreau. Isn't that nice? Who can hit a right? Who can hit a righty? And the answer is Steve Sachs. Steve is 2 for 10. Keith Olbermann's bomb is now paying attention. He singled twice, hitting 200. And he put in Grove instead of Young. Sachs hits a ground ball to Thon. Dickey over to first for the out, 2 away. Brings up Maldonado. Candy is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch to Maldonado, and Scott, it's a line drive. It hits the bag at second. And the waiting glove of Thon, but Maldonado beat it out. So that's a single. A 2-out single you didn't see. And so now, who can hit a righty? It's going to be Kenny Landreau. Landreau at 273, 9 for 33, 2 homers, 5 RBI. You're supposed to hit him at a 279 clip, and the batting average drops to 223. Yeah, Scott's pretty good. Duncan on deck. Here's the pitch. Landreau swings and messes up my plans. Into center field. Humphreys there makes the catch. That will retire the side. We go to the 8th. No runs, a hit. The Dodgers leave on a couple. They've stranded 5 so far. 4-1 Houston. All right, I want to go. See, I can't bring in Duncan after I do that. I got to do it first. Lefty, switchy righty. So here we go. Some changes. Sachs at second. He's a 5. Greg Brock at first. He's a 6. Carlos Diaz, 6-3 and 85 on the real year. 27 years old, a fastball pitcher at 91. Pitched twice in the series against the Giants. His last time out was the 13th, so 4D. I don't remember him either, and he looks about 9,000 years old there. In their 5-3 win on 4 days ago, 2/3 of an inning, 22 pitches. He gave up a hit and a home run. So 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. He walked 2 and struck out 2. And shame on us for not remembering him, because he threw 79 1/3 innings for the Dodgers out of the pen and went 6-3. So lefty versus lefty, Cruz, Mumphrey, and Cabell. Jose is 0 for 2 with a walk. Diaz starts his effort with a ground ball to Brock. And Greg goes to the bag himself, 1 out. 65 degrees. Now wind blowing in at 13 from right field. Mumphrey 1 for 2. Jerry singled, scored, and walked. I read something interesting about Whitey Ford. That Casey Stengel was kind of like Dean Smith, holding, who was the only one to hold Michael Jordan under 20 points a game? Dean Smith. And that Casey Stengel kind of played that role for Whitey Ford. Wouldn't pitch him against the easy teams, made sure he pitched against the harder teams. Of course, Whitey never pitched at Fenway. His ERA there was god-awful, that short left field wall. But when Ralph Houck took over in 61, in the next 2 years, 61 and 62, which were championship years for the Yankees, Ford won 25 and 24. He won 49 games in 2 years. I gave you Mumphrey's numbers already. Diaz delivers, and there's a ground ball to third. Guerrero with a great stop from his knees over to first for the out. So how about that? Big out. 2 away for Cabell, who is 0 for 2. And yeah, Diaz's strikeout to walk ratio is 1836. Yeah, more than 4-1. Didn't even need to pull up the calculator for that. Cabell is 0 for 2, a walk and a run scored. Thursday, Pirates and Cardinals, and that will mean that we'll have played all of the 84 and 85 playoff teams. Not bad. Pitch to Cabell. Enos hits a ground ball to Diaz, who bobbles it, throws to first, and that will retire the side. Denny Walling is going to come in to play third for Phil Garner. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mike Scott stays in, so it's just a defensive replacement. I don't remember seeing a lot of defensive replacements in this game. Good job. Go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-1 Houston. So, Crispy and Brain Rider 1 are our newest followers. Yeah, no wonder he never won 20 with Casey. Ford only started over 30 games. Really, only once. And that was the year he led the league with 18 wins. Here's Greg Brock. He's 0 for 3 on the replay. 251, 21 homers, and 66 RBI. Russell and Oliver to follow. Opening 27 for Scott. 96 pitches. 7 innings, 7 hits, and a home run to Mariano Duncan. Pitch to Brock into center field. Mumphrey comes in. 1 out. By the way, I got to mention this to him, too. Chris Waterfield sent me some stickers that he wants me to sell. And probably on Thursday I'll have Vanna come in and show you them. But if you're interested in buying a Retro Sports Network sticker, we have them. Let me know. Russell is 0 for 3. Scott's pitch. There's a ground ball to Cabell. Enos, 2 out. Whitey wasn't a spring chicken in 61 or 62 either. You're waiting for the coffee mug. If you got the digital dice one, we sell those. At some point, Cafe Press will actually send Dave a check. Oliver 1 for 3. He has singled and stolen a base. His only stolen base in the National League in 85. Pitch to Al. Ground ball to Thon. Dickey across the way for the out. Dave does work hard for his shekels, absolutely. We go to the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 4-1 Houston. So as Alan Ashby, Doran, and Scott come up, Scott could go the distance here. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Houston. They've left on 5. 1 run, 7 hit, an error, and the Dodgers have left on 5. Diaz will give him a base runner. Ashby having a good ball game. He's 2 for 3. He has singled twice. Scored and struck out. Carlos's pitch is a ground ball to Guerrero. Pedro throws to first, 1 out. Hey gang, it's warmed up to -3 in town. Billy Doran is 0 for 2 with a walk. So the Astros 3 outs away from snapping the Dodgers' 6-game winning streak. Billy hits a slow ground ball to short. Russell has to hurry. Doran can run, and he is out. They got him on the bang-banger. 2 out for the pitcher spot for Scott. Don't say that 5 times fast. Mike has struck out twice. He's 0 for 3. And Jim Pankovitz will pinch hit. Jim is 3 for 7 on the young replay. 429, a homer, and 2 RBI. Guerrero, Marshall, and Scioscia for the Dodgers in the 9th. Pankovitz strikes out. So Diaz does his job. Now that's interesting that they don't... Oh, they did pinch hit. Dave Smith coming in to slam the door. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 4-1 Houston. So as Dave Smith, who somehow was absent for picture day, takes the mound, both of his saves came last week against the Dodgers in Houston. He last faced one batter on the 14th, today being the 17th, against the Phils, and he just threw 2 pitches. So overall, 5 1/3 innings, 2 saves, 3 hits, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Really, the first 1-inning closer, if you will. I know Eckersley gets a lot of credit for it, but Hal Lanier did a lot of that with Smith in 86. Fastball tops out at 84, so Bugs Bunny thinks he's a good pitcher. And an extreme ground ball pitcher. So Guerrero 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Pitch to Petey. There's a ground ball to third. Walling, who's a 7, snaps it up and throws to first, 1 out. Mike Marshall 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Smith winds and deals, and there's a base hit into left center. So Dickie Thon did not make a good play there. And the Dodgers have a sign of life. Almost makes you want to grab a Maldito. Here's Scioscia. Mike is 1 for 3. He has singled. And this time around, he laces that one into center field. And the Dodgers have the tying run at the plate. Marshall will hold. They're not going to run on Mumphrey. And so it'll be Steve Sachs, who is 0 for 1. He really can't bunt. And you don't want to give up the out. Brad passed along some sage advice from Earl Weaver, and I'm not being a smart aleck here. You got 27 outs. Use them wisely. And so I could think about bunting Sachs here, but I don't think I'll run into double play. Narrator says 4-6-3. Pitch to Sachs. Ground ball to Smith. And they only get Scioscia. So it goes 1-6 on the fielder's choice. And now Tommy's going to pinch hit for Candy Maldonado. Who's he got that can hit a righty? It's going to be Terry Whitfield. So Whitfield, the former Giant, 2 for 5 as a pinch hitter. He has a double and 2 RBI. You worry about who's going to bat for Diaz if the game is extended, but right now Tommy's just trying to get it to go one more batter. So the tying run is at the plate. Yep, Smith had a 2.35 ERA from 84 to 90, averaging 1.2 innings per appearance. Great numbers, but if you look at his 86 season, it pretty much was a one and done situation. It worked. It absolutely worked. Ashby and Smith have a couple words. From the stretch. Line drive on the ground, Walling to Doran, and the Astros have won this one 4-1. So a good win for Houston. Mike Scott goes to 2-0. So 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Houston. They leave on, I'm trying to find it, 5. The Dodgers, 1 run, 9 hits, and an error, and they leave on 7. Oh, Smith died of a heart attack at 53 in 2008. Oh. So Mike Scott, the digital dice player of the game, 8 innings, 7 hits, just the 1 run, the homer to Mariano Duncan. He struck out 5 and had pretty good stuff. Dave Smith picks up his 3rd save of the young year. The Astros move to 5-4. Rick Honeycutt, again, that's like being able to shop at Trader Joe's or your favorite grocery store and getting stuck at CVS. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 2. Yep, he's headed for the bullpen. We'll have some great years for La Russa in Oakland. Ken Howell did not have a good day. 1 run, a hit in 1 inning. You're welcome, Al. And Carlos Diaz, the best pitcher none of us have ever heard of, 2 innings and had a strikeout plus stuff. Come on. So, the day in baseball. You too. All have a good day. The Blue Jays beat the Rangers 7-6. Dennis Lamp, who was a starter, gets the win. His first, Charlie Huff goes to 2-1. Pete O'Brien, the second of the year, 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Milwaukee pounds Jack Morris. Jack Morris is 0 for 3 to start the year. 10-2 Milwaukee. Danny Darwin gets the win. Giles, 2 homers. Morris somehow strikes out 10 and throws 7 innings. Baltimore 9, Cleveland. Baltimore and Cleveland played a 19-inning game. Cleveland gets 18 hits. Brooke Jacoby has 5 of those. He goes 5 for 9 with 2 RBI and a double. Dixon gets the win. Roman, I have no idea who the heck they are. He takes the loss. Cubs go to 8-0. They beat the Phils. Sorensen gets his first win. Raleigh falls to 1-1. Michael Jack Schmidt, his first of the year, 3 for 5 and a triple. Seattle, 6. Oakland 1. The Mariners are 6-3. Matt Young 1-1. Don Sutton 1-1. Shaq Percani, sauce, 3 for 5, 2 RBI and a double. Pirates beat the Mets 5-4. Larry McWilliams goes to 1-1. Bruce Perenni 0-2. Mookie Wilson 3 for 3, a triple and a double. The Braves beat the Reds 9-7. Rick Camp, Saturday in the park. Every day's the 4th of July. Beats Frank Pastore, who goes to 0-2. Claudel Washington 4 for 5, a double and a stolen base. The Cardinals and John Tudor shut out the Expos 4-0. Tudor strikes out 6. He goes to 2-0. Joe Hesketh goes to 0-1. Timmy Wallach 3 for 4. California beat Minnesota 2-1. Slayton goes to 2-0. Garth Butcher falls to 0-2, and Donnie Moore picks up his second save. The Red Sox are on a tear. They beat Kansas City 8-4 at Royal Stadium. My God, Al Nipper won a game. All pass out right now. He goes to 1-0. Charlie Leibrandt goes to 0-2. Tony Armas 4 for 5, his second of the year, and drives in 5. Houston and L.A. 4-1. Mike Scott gets the win and has a good day. So the game for you Thursday is going to be the Cardinals and the Pirates. The Cardinals 4-3, so we'll have all the playoff teams that you've seen once, and then at that point we'll make a determination if we go with the Cubs or the Cubs Expos or Yankees and Indians on Friday. I'm Ron Jeckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you on, well, tomorrow Dave and I are taping Digital Dice, and then Thursday it'll be the Cardinals and the Pirates. Until then, have a great day, everybody. So long.